On the 4th of March, 4 days after Russia announced the takeover of Europe's largest nuclear power station, the world awoke to terrifying images. Fires and firefights in Energodar. This building, or rather what happened to it, is what caused so much fear internationally about potentially a new nuclear incident in Ukraine. We're at the Zaporozhye nuclear power station, the biggest nuclear power station in Europe. Reactor number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 over there in the distance. This was the site of a pitched battle between Russian troops who were on site and who they say were Ukrainian infiltrators who penetrated this building on the outskirts of the reactor complex itself. And there was a pitched battle when they retreated. These are the outskirts of the nuclear power station. They allegedly set fire to the building. The worry was that this was the training center. According to IAEA rules, every nuclear power station must have a training complex with a mock reactor on site. Fortunately, the training center itself is in this nearby building, which is largely undamaged. For a frightful stretch, no one knew what had happened, what the damage was. Fortunately, things cleared up soon enough. The IAEA gave the all clear and panic died down. But the station was left on the verge of a crisis. It could have been worse, much worse. If the sabotage had succeeded, or if Ukrainian troops who were ordered to fight off Russian soldiers during the initial takeover had followed their orders.
After we took the plant under control, we found a huge stash of weapons and ammunition, including heavy weaponry. We even found ammunition on top of reactor facilities. They had been preparing for a real battle.
Sense prevailed. After talks, Ukrainian troops, hundreds of them, laid down their weapons, which were promptly locked away. This is the armory at Zaporozhye nuclear power station, filled to the brim with weapons seized from Ukrainian National Guardsmen, more than 200 of them who surrendered to Russian troops who have taken over the facility. You can find here all sorts of firearms. This is an American M4 rifle clone, locally made, called the Ukrop. You have crates and crates stacked with assault rifles, Kalashnikov rifles, as well as grenade launchers, ammunition of all sorts and types, also in vast quantities. The Ukrainian soldiers who were stationed here were ordered to defend this nuclear power station to the last drop of blood. Evidently, they thought better of it. They surrendered to Russian forces and have been let go. They're now with their families at home, having written and signed papers that they wouldn't participate in any more fighting. Again, rocket-propelled grenades, ammunition seized from around the facility, cabinets stacked with pistols and even firearms and weapons from the United States. Here is a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, and it says here, Spring Branch, Texas. So this was evidently manufactured in the United States and handed over to Ukrainian troops. At this point, the nuclear power station is secure. Thousands of workers labor in shifts, keeping operations running and supplying as much as a quarter of Ukraine's electrical power needs. While the complex is secure, the workers aren't. They're afraid of the fighting, of the threats made against them and their families, many of which live in areas controlled by Ukrainian nationalists and radicals. They were warned, work together with the Russians and you'll pay. Yet here they are, bound by duty to keep Europe's largest nuclear power plant operational and, above all, safe.